A little bit of a double header on the Ghost Town walk today. I think I've got this problem solved, so I'm not going to rehash what we were talking about before, at least not completely. But I think a lot of people were watching and noticed some pretty significant technical failures. Those have been happening a lot lately, and we all, including me, presumed it was due to network failures or problems because that's the way it was presenting. But it's a good lesson learned. Sometimes things are not exactly what they appear to be. There's really no difference now, as far as the network is concerned, with what we had earlier. In fact, that's why I wanted to come back to exactly the same spot and traverse the most troubled areas of the High Line, not only because it's beautiful to be up here, and summer is fleeting, you know, it's going to be August soon, and then it's September, and then it's fall. So I wanted to enjoy the nice weather. It was incredibly hot before, 95 or something. I think it's come down into the 80s. There was a significant kind of rainstorm, thunder storm in between then and now. And so it's cooled off a little bit, but it seems like it might rain again. I don't know. We'll try this until then. Good evening, Tall Oaks. I like being live because we can chat with people and get some feedback, and then nobody knows, including me, what's going to happen. It adds some mystery, doesn't it? So the other thing is, I don't want to go into too much detail about what the problem was, but I figured it out. And again, it's one of these things that people watching aren't going to be able to figure it out. I literally haven't changed anything about the network or the network setup. I do have this very robust failover system, allows me to access all of the mobile data networks in New York City simultaneously, combine the aggregate throughput of each of them to get the maximum signal. So it's really vexing when it doesn't work. And it doesn't always mean that somebody is deliberately fouling the signal. In fact, I have zero evidence that these gremlins were deliberate. I think it was just the normal, you know, you get involved in any kind of complex system, and by that I mean we got like 5 phones or 6 phones on my body right now. You know, it'd be like, oh, the perpetrator had 6 phones and he had foreign accounts. It's like, that means nothing when they tell you that, you know? I mean, I guess if the guy is there trying to shoot at Trump, it means something, but you never know. I mean, what I'm saying is we've got a bonded link aggregating, you know, array here. I've spoken about that. It's working well right now. But again, nobody watching is going to have all of the information together at the same time that I will. Nina's watching everything I put out, but I don't think she's sitting there commanding cyber actors to strike what I'm doing. I just don't think she has that specific capability or would employ that. It sounds ridiculous, it is ridiculous, and it just wasn't the problem. It's interesting to speculate, but that wasn't it. I haven't thwarted her in any way. It was other stuff. And again, we were having this problem the other day. I'm looking at the network is strong. I'm looking at the aggregate network, and that's strong. So it was something else, and that something else has been resolved. So we're going to continue to test it. Just to recap briefly for people who maybe didn't catch that video, or for people who didn't sign up, you can get a completely uninterrupted version of that video if you sponsor the show by going to crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com. You can see it on Odyssey as well. Actually, I put it on for free on Odyssey. I like to support Odyssey. I like the technology on Odyssey. And there are a lot of people who did subscribe on Odyssey. So I want to get those people to either get the AR cryptocurrency and continue to support Odyssey. I would love to support Odyssey. If it's too complicated, which I appreciate, it is pretty complicated. But if you don't want to use AR cryptocurrency for any particular reason, you've been watching the show for free for the past 3 months. Every day, people have been telling me, hey, what's going on with Odyssey? I can't watch the show anymore. How do I renew the subscription? On odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth, you can renew using AR cryptocurrency. You're going to have to get a wallet with them and everything. It's a bit of a thing. But if you don't mind doing that, that's great. If you don't want to do that, keep in mind you've been getting the show for free for 3 months, so I do appreciate people, and there are some. Thank you to the people who have sent the one-time sponsorship payments to paypal.me/crowdsourcethetruth. You can also get the sponsor-exclusive content, including this afternoon's earlier show on subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. Get a whole lot of sponsor-exclusive content on there. Sponsor the show, keep it going, help me fight lawfare. That's what this is all about. I'm not just squashing gremlins in terms of the technical issues with the show, although that's important and it's an ongoing effort happening all the time. People can also support the show by going to X and following me at JG_CSTT. You got to become a subscriber on there if you want to get the sponsor exclusive content. I wonder what those girls thought of the assassination attempt. But yeah, just to briefly recap, you know, Nina rekindled this really unconstitutional attack on my First Amendment rights, my ability to tell people about what I see, evidence in the public domain that causes me to think she's involved in criminal activity. She seems to be part of this network. It's a lawfare network. Ben Wittes is involved. I got to get a comprehensive Nina report together. I did one of those, and that basically blew up her spot at the Department of Homeland Security. Remember, she was the director of the Disinformation Governance Board, a completely unconstitutional, ridiculous thing. We haven't seen the likes of that, obviously none of us who are alive now, but 1917, you had Woodrow Wilson created the Public Information Bureau or something like that. What was that dude's name? George Creel? I think it was the Creel Committee. Thank you, Islet Y. I like being live, and I like to be able to give people what they want. I think it's nice. We can interact. And I get it. I'm sorry for people I got angry at earlier. I know most of the time people want to help, but you got to keep in mind there's a lot of trolls who like to interact. I should do a real, hey, what'd you think of the assassination attempt? Just go around asking. But yeah, the real-time tech support, it just never helps. It never helps resolve it. I don't think ever once has there ever been a real-time tech support suggestion from viewers that has helped resolve the technical problem, because you just don't have enough of an understanding of what's being done to be able to resolve it. It's like a doctor who's never seen a patient hearing about it from their friend, trying to diagnose them over the phone. But she was the head of this Disinformation Governance Board, very similar to the Creel Committee. Let me just double check that that's what that was called. Creel Committee. Yeah, it refers to the Committee on Public Information, which was an independent agency of the U.S. government established in 1917 by President Woodrow Wilson and headed up by George Creel. Now remember, Nina was also working at the Wilson Center, which is one of these, you know, non-profit, think tanks. I don't know what they're thinking about over there. What were they thinking? That's a Seinfeld thing. But, it's one of these think tanks that I guess advises the government on policy or whatever. And that played a role. That's what I'm saying. It's a network. It's not like she's just there doing this by herself. You know, she's telling you, give money to this 501c3. That allows the donors. So if somebody has, $10 million that they want to give to that, they're getting a $10 million tax deduction. That's tax money that's not going to fix roads or, they're complaining about cutting the money to Medicaid or whatever it is. But this is how they're stealing money. People like Nina are telling you, oh, rich people, give a donation to this 501c3. Oh yeah, I forgot, you can't go down this way. Well, that's all right. This is where we came last time and still got disruption. So it's still useful to check it out. I don't know when this construction will be done, but we'll go maybe check out Diddle Island, see how Barry Diller is doing over there. But somebody like that, who has millions and millions of dollars and they want to get a tax deduction, reduce their tax bill, they can give money to a 501c3, get the tax deduction, and then that C3 gives the money to the C4. But you're not supposed to be able to take a tax deduction for giving money to a 501c4. So it literally is a loophole. And Nina was in detail explaining to people how to access that loophole. I just don't think that's a loophole that's got to be closed. I don't think that should be legal to do. So technically, if it is legal, she's not breaking the law, but in hyperbolic, sort of political rhetoric kind of language, I'm saying she's a thief, because she's helping people figure out how to legally circumvent what should not be circumvented so that she can be paid a ridiculous six-figure salary, buy a new home. Have you recently bought a new home? I haven't. I've been paying more taxes every year so that people like Nina can help other people inappropriately avoid paying taxes. I don't appreciate that. I think it falls within my First Amendment rights to tell everybody about it. By the way, so far this is a very successful test of the fixing, the stomping of the Gremlins. And by the way, I don't mean to say that anybody is going to stomp actually anybody. Obviously, Nina is not literally a gremlin. Neither is her stupid beached whale of an attorney, Veronica Holmes. Oh, he's making fun of us again. It's a threat. No, it isn't. It's an insult. I think you can sue people for insulting you, but that's pretty ridiculous. Why are they listening? Why do they bother to listen? They want to hear the insults. They can't live without hearing the insults and sending them in to Judge Wheat. So, yeah, just to recap, what they did was Nina rekindled this stupid beef from way back 2 years ago, which I say is unconstitutional, an unconstitutional, overbroad, void ab initio order from the court. And I really couldn't move in the court because I guess I could have done what she did. I could have, I think, I don't know, I'd have to look this up. I'm not an attorney. It's important for people to also remember that. Nothing I'm saying is legal advice. Any of it could be wrong. Nina's bloated beached whale of an attorney with her tattoos hanging out looking like she's ready to go on a Carnival cruise, Veronica Holmes, she thinks I'm wrong. Maybe she's right. We'll find out from the judge. I guess, I don't know, the judge hasn't said anything so far. I would have thought, I don't know, I thought she would have said something. So on the 23rd, that was 21 days after the final order. That's what happened on July 2nd. What'd you think of the assassination attempt?
What?
Never mind. I don't know why she was laughing, but didn't want to participate. The judge issued a final order on July 2nd in this matter. There was a hearing scheduled, and then she canceled that abruptly. I think it was a due process violation. I think it denied me the right to be meaningfully heard in a meaningful way at a meaningful time, to be heard in a meaningful way at a meaningful time. That's what I think. Maybe the judge disagrees. I would almost bet she disagrees. Again, we'll see. But I was going to say that this is a special appearance to challenge the service. They never properly served me, and that was the specific reason that I was appearing there, only for that reason. And that's a whole special set of legal stuff. Again, I could be wrong, but this is what I was going to say. I was denied the opportunity to say that. By bringing this fight back, by rekindling it, they had to file something that was like, you know, to reopen the case, basically. So now it's in play again. And as far as I know, I'm legally allowed to file all these things. But Nina's idiot attorney, bloated beached whale that she is, she says, no, Jason's doing all this just to raise the bill. No, I'm not. You idiots are the ones who brought it about. You could have just left it alone. Yeah, it just gets a what. But she was laughing. I almost for a second thought she might have been watching on her phone. Wouldn't that be funny? That has happened. People who have been watching, yeah, no skips or repeats. Randy, I think it's fixed. I think I located what the problem was with the totality of understanding what's going on. This is a tough looking dog right here, isn't it? Howdy. Sweet but tough. They're the ones who brought this all about. Here's another guy who's got to ride the bicycle on the sidewalk. You know, now they're worried about the bill. Nina wants me to pay her legal bill. Nina wants me to pay the legal bill, but I mean, if the bill is such a problem, why did she renew this? They're saying that what I'm doing is vexatious and intended to, you know, harass them. It's pretty ironic. That's obviously what she's doing. Lying to the cops. And they're saying, you know, res judicata. This has already been decided. I don't think it has. We'll see. Or we won't. Maybe the judge will just say nothing. I have no idea what's going to happen. Oh, these people don't want to be in the video. That's fine. Do the right thing. Step to the left. Do whatever you're going to do. I'm going to check out Diddle Island. It is still pretty hot. Definitely very humid. Welcome to the West Side Highway, everybody. This is it. I figured we'd also get some nice, you know, midsummer golden hour light here towards the end of the day. Is this a Raptor R? Yes, it looks like it. Weird color for a Raptor. Remember Hunter Biden bought that Raptor? They said Joe Biden bought it, but there's no way. What the hell is Joe Biden doing with a Raptor? I don't even think he could drive if he wanted to. Wear a cap when it's that hot in the middle of the day? Yeah, I guess. You mean to not get so sunburned? I was kind of in and out of the trees. I guess you could get sunburned even now because, I don't know, it's kind of the end of the day. So here we go. Pier 57 over there. This is really a nice part of town to come to. Now, traditionally, there were some network problems over here, but again, we can test the robustness of this bonded link aggregating system. It's really quite unique. Now, what is this? The show on Little Island. What show? I guess we'll find out. It's the World Trade Center over there. Get some nice views. See, the sun hits it at this late day hour. It's nice to see. I don't really like that building. Reminds me of the destruction of the World Trade Center, of course. Something else was happening I was noticing when I was leaving. You know, Matt Taibbi is back. They're saying, oh, we've got Brennan now, because he's saying he didn't use the Steele dossier in the thing. But there's this little paragraph here that's talking about the dossier. I think I noticed elsewhere in that document, it said that there was a collection of documents that are collectively referred to as the dossier. I'm pretty sure I saw that. And what that caused me to believe is that they are also talking about this information from Matt Tate. And I feel like the direction that everything is going in is to get everybody rallied around this notion that it's the Steele dossier while preventing anybody from talking about the Matt Tate information. And then what's his name? You know, Brennan is ready to have some counter. He'd be like, no, see, ha, surprise, it wasn't the Steele dossier. So, I don't know, Matt Taibbi, he's very good at getting people to look over here and not over there. That's, I think, what he was doing with the Twitter files. Didn't want anybody talking about the Twitter coup. Didn't want to talk about Valerie Caproni. Didn't want to talk about Adam Sharp. By the way, those people are still active, involved with Nina, involved with Ben Wittes. I mean, this must be what they're talking about with the show. This is this amphitheater. But what show? It doesn't look like they're set up to really do anything here. Right? It looks like a bit of a mess at the moment. Now, I think this is some new stuff here.
I'm back.
They have these weird, hypnotic, what would you even call this? It's hypnotic. Isn't it? Some kind of optical illusion. This is a good test, though, walking all over the place. Over there you can dine, relax, learn, eat, experience all kinds of things. There's remarkably few boats here right now. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Here's people on jet skis over there. Seems like it would be filthy water. What is that? Well, I don't know. Conceivably the Coast Guard or somebody knows what's going on over there. But yeah, I mean, I guess this is the show, right? This is the amphitheater. No show tonight. I've never seen any show here. I have to admit, this is kind of a nice venue. I mean, not that big, but it would be good to see some kind of concert or something here. Probably something nice going on there for July 4th. I don't know. It's quite a venue. This Diddle Island. Little island of greenery in the middle of the city. I mean, this technically looks roped off. So whatever, we don't want to. Other people are walking through. I want to go through to the other side. I'm feeling very confident that I resolved that earlier problem. So I don't know, do people have any questions about what's going on with Nina? Let's do a bit of Q&A with the chat. I'm on YouTube here looking at the chat. Crowdsource the Truth 11. That's another thing, you know, they've spent over $2 million. Beatty Switchy Taibbi. I agree, Tim. He's very into the Steele dossier. Did not want to him and Schellenberger, they avoided the Twitter coup like it was poison ivy. And that makes no sense because it was sort of exactly what they were talking about. You think they would at least want to evaluate it, understand what's going on. Same thing with our buddy Mike Benz. That encounter with him outside the Madison Square Garden Trump rally, where in 30 seconds I described to him that, you know, Jim Baker had me choked outside the New York offices of Twitter. It really doesn't make sense that that didn't pique his interest, even in the slightest. The lawns are resting. Please help them by not entering. It's a nice view. Quicksilver says, any chance you would consider helping me settle a legal matter I have in NYC probate court. No luck finding an attorney. But I can't do that, Quicksilver. I can't help people with legal stuff because I'm not an attorney. That would be practicing law without a license. That's why I always say, I'm not an attorney. Nothing I say is legal advice. Nobody should take any legal action based on what I say. I'd love to help you, but I just can't. I'm sorry. So now, monkeying around the mountain says, my 2 pet spider monkeys like to sit and watch me. Do you really have pet monkeys who watch the show? Somebody sent me a video one time of like 5 dogs watching the show. They did seem to be paying attention. It was quite interesting. I'd like to see monkeys watching the show. This is like a video we'll see after the next. Yeah, this will be like an FBI exhibit someday. I don't know if they changed that sign, Tim. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. Now, Doc Nini, this is like a video we'll see after the next. About MK Ultra. Who had MK Ultra? About MK Ultra. Who had MK Ultra? It's possible.
Oh, we're going up?
Stairs are crowded. Let's take the ramp. Constantly on. Who I like. I mean, she was friendly to me when I met her at a Charlie Kirk party for the inauguration. Who I like. I mean, she was friendly to me when I met her at a Charlie Kirk party for the inauguration. She's a smart attorney, although I don't like her fondness of Dersh. Now, wait a minute, look at that. Is fishing down there? How do you get down there? It's nice and cool over here. There's a breeze coming off the water. That must be some dock that they're... I don't think you can get there from Diddle Island. It's not necessarily public access. There are a lot of interesting parks and things in New York, and just, you know, coming over here and sort of snooping up happening. So there we just had our first little... Oh yeah, there's only 1 dot of signal up here. I guess I should probably... Right. All the signal availability. Here, wait, it should be getting better. Maybe we'll keep testing it. Yeah, I don't know, Quicksilver. I can't help you with legal stuff. It's just outside the scope of things I could do. And you don't want me to help you with legal stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a lawyer. So Taibbi's on there. He's talking to Megyn Kelly, saying, oh, Steele dossier. And also, you know, so Trump said today that probably Obama has presidential immunity. So we'll see. I mean, he's sort of setting everybody up for nothing to happen, it seems. I don't know, maybe he can get Brennan and Comey. I want people to talk about this Comey, Ben Wittie's, James Comey email.
I think it's a complaint.
It's weird that you can't get good signal here. I guess out by the water, we're just on the edge of the network. Tim says Charlie Kirk is a twit. I've never personally interacted with him. You know, he's obviously, you know, doing a show, making money there, but he's in that crew. You know, Megyn Kelly was at his party. He appears at Turning Point. He's sort of like a CPAC, right? I mean, whatever, let the guy earn his money. I don't know if he's on top of the news or so he thinks. whatever he was talking about to me. Have a conversation. So I told him. I was in that moment, right in there. Boosted quite a bit since plays into the whole crowd to try, right? Jason's just doing this to run up, working money, and doesn't cost me money, because they even get upset. She came into court and she's like, "Oh, Jason on Crowdsource the truth.substack trying to stop scumbags like Nina, you know, short circuit law, how to get thread the needle of a 501c3 through a 501c4. That's what she's trying to do. I'm telling you, I think that's crooked. She shouldn't be allowed to do that. There's a lot of people up at the Whitney. So get onto crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or subscribestar.com or patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. You support the show, you're going to get access to sponsor-exclusive content, and it helps the counter lawfare effort. Here's the Whitney. Look at that. Whitney Museum. People are out there on the balcony. Maybe they're having some kind of party. Nah, it just looks like regular museum goers. Oh, they're, I guess, having Amy Sherald from April 9th through August 10th.
When I met him, he was probably...
See that sign? It says no bicycles. I'm not going to bother this lady, but you're not supposed to have bicycles. People love to do that. People can also get on to X at JG_CSTT. Follow on there. It helps the counter lawfare effort. Let's see, I'm going to cross the street, but I think I got to do it over there. Well, let's see what's going on at Tesla. Where are these protests lately? They seem to have lost their steam. They can only get geriatrics to protest up at Steve Colbert. What a pathetic thing that was. Did people see my encounter with the Stephen Colbert crazies? I clipped a little bit of that and put it on X. So if people missed it, they can still see it there. Yeah, I get it, it's an easy case, but I can't do it. I can't do it, Quicksilver. I'm not allowed to handle legal stuff for other people because I'm not an attorney. I just can't do it. No, this is the highway. I can't cross over here. I'm gonna get run over. Oh, right, yeah. Twit, two-faced on the First Amendment. What did he do that was two-faced on the First Amendment? I mean, like I said, I don't really know Charlie Kirk. I see him there. I haven't. My scale is when these people have done things directly to me. I mean, Charlie Kirk, he's obviously friends with Tucker Carlson, who I don't care for because he stole my footage to help Dersh. And Dersh, right, Tim's got it, Dead Epps attorney. Dersh is going crazy. Now, what about this whole Ghislaine Maxwell? They're going to give her a pardon now? Are you kidding? That seems like it's going to make people go crazy. What's the basis for giving her a pardon? She was somehow wrongfully convicted? Wasn't she? Isn't there tons of evidence that she was trafficking young girls? Why pardon her? And if she has something to say, why is she suddenly saying it now? None of this really makes any sense to me. And of course, Dersh is in there saying what? He's like, I know everything, but I can't talk. Dersh is full of shit. Now look at that. Is that? I think that's the Standard Hotel, not the one that people think Adam Schiff is doing stuff at. This is the New York one. I don't know. I don't think I've ever gone into that Standard Hotel. Maybe I have. Maybe the beer garden? I don't know. It's relatively new. I don't think it's more than 10 years old. The one in LA has been there forever. There's one in downtown LA that I've been to. I've actually stayed at that one. And then there's one in Hollywood that when I used to live in Hollywood, that was one of the only places that had like an all-night diner. So you'd find yourself going there. Food was all right. See, that's the thing with LA. And you don't even have this in New York anymore. It used to be that there were just so many restaurants that unless your restaurant was great and the waiters were really, really good, you just couldn't stay in business. So the service was great, the food was great. I think that all ended with COVID. I don't really go to restaurants anymore, hardly at all. So I can't gauge, but this is part of the Standard right here. Carding nerds. The shop. Yeah, see, that's pretty standardish, like LA. In the one in LA, they have in the lobby hot chicks just hanging out in a glass box behind the check-in desk. Ah, they put a new robot in the window here, but they're just hanging out like in a fish tank. Yeah, this is a new bar, I think. They didn't have this the last time I was here. This was like a skating rink or something. Grab a soda pop, watch it fizz. Hard serve Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen is kind of popping up everywhere, isn't it? Oh my God, sitting in that box in the heat. Chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. There you go. So we've got a new robot here, but you still can't buy the robot. People seem to be objecting to the robot. Speaking of the New York Post, which we weren't, yeah, this is a new robot. It doesn't have the Texas belt on it anymore. Hey, how come it's not? Oh, I've lost temporarily the ability to switch camera. Stand by, folks. Let me see if I can rectify this. It's been able to happen in the past. We'll see if we can resolve that issue. I hope so. There we go. So here's the robot. Guy's taking a selfie. It would be hilarious if it reached up and strangled him right now. But yeah, some people object to the robots. What's her name? What's her name who wrote the book about Hunter Biden's laptop? Australian lady. Oh my God, how do I not remember her name? She had a tweet. Oh, now I'm hung up on not remembering her name. She had a tweet about some robot that they said can fist fight. And she's like, oh, who would want this? I said, listen, if it could fist fight people on the sidewalk riding bicycles, give me 10. How do I not remember her name? Yeah, Miranda Devine, of course. Anyway, she was tweeting about robots earlier. But here we are, Soho. This is just a pure walk and talk, so feel free to talk. Tall Oaks is saying, can I elucidate? On what? Tall Oaks. See, I get these chats several seconds after whatever it is I say, so it's difficult for me to know what you're talking about. These shops look empty, don't they? I mean, this is expensive stuff. Buy a baccarat chandelier, you gotta be loaded. What do we got here? Fancy. Wow. Oh my God. How do people like this guy's shirt? How How's that working out for you? Oh boy.
I have to wake up so early since I got back from Europe.
That guy's an absolute wreck. He's bending over, revealing the ass crack to pick up used cigarettes. Is this Elon Musk? He's probably over with the robots. I don't know, mileage may vary. Right. This is the fancy Soho House Club. Fancy people going in there, no doubt. It's thousands of dollars a year just to even join that. Now, wow, look at this. I guess this construction is done. What's in there? That was under construction for quite a while. So yeah, so Nina's lawyer put in these opposition to my objection to the order and some kind of opposition to my motion for clarification, which is stupid. I'm asking the court to clarify, and she's answering and telling me that I'm doing stuff to run up her bill. Well, she didn't have to answer. She could have totally waited. Maybe the court would say nothing. Maybe the court would say, Jason, screw you. She's the one who chose to answer. Oh, this is going to monetize the video with music. That's not good. Apple Store looking kind of empty. Usually it's crowded as hell. I don't know, a lot of people seem to think that maybe Apple has lost its innovative edge. That 3D headset is gone from the front display. Are they even displaying it anywhere? Oh, there it is. All the way in the tippy back. Nobody cares about that. Big waste of money. I don't think Steve Jobs would have ever had them do that. I'm sure I've told this story before, but my sadly departed friend Lenny Lipton told me that he had an opportunity to meet Steve Jobs because Lenny had invented this technology that allowed for the display of 3D images on computer monitors that was ultimately sold to that company Real D, which if people remember from like 10 years ago when 3D movies were all the rage, when you went to the movies, you might have gotten a pair of glasses that said Real D. That's because Lenny sold his technology to them, and instead of putting on a computer monitor, they integrated it into a digital projector, and that's what allowed all these movies to be in 3D. But in his meeting with Steve Jobs revealed to Lenny that he doesn't like 3D from the standpoint of technology because he doesn't like the idea that you had to put the glasses on. And the glasses that Lenny had even 30 years ago were way smaller than that contraption. I just don't think Steve Jobs would have allowed people to put that on their head. And I just don't think anybody is going to want any version of that technology at all until the glasses look like this, or substantially like regular glasses. Maybe, you know, like thicker rim kind of Ray-Bans, but you know, it would be great to have a computer screen in there and your text messages pop up and whatever, but nobody wants to strap on a giant thing that closes you off from reality. Oh, we're running out of data. Yeah, that makes sense. I've been blasting out the data. Get all kinds of messages on this phone, but it does seem that that technical problem has been resolved. The person they said was Daniel Smith meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago was Ghislaine Maxwell? Really? Yeah, I mean, wasn't that weird, that guy's shirt? Yeah, so what's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell? She met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago about what? POAs expire. Oh, you guys are elaborating on things. Yeah, that's fine. Feel free to share legal information in the chat. I make no endorsement or, you know, pro or con for legal information shared in the chat. I have nothing to do with it. This is another fancy place, Tao. Go in there, spend a load of money, party with chicks. It's good work if you can get it. I'm out of that business, unfortunately. It's a good thing it didn't rain. And also, you might notice the reduction in maniacs. I haven't been up to that thing, the Edge. Those kind of things make me a little bit vertigo, you know, where you stand on the glass and look down. I've done that in, where do they have that giant tower? Maybe Toronto? Calgary? I don't remember. Vancouver? Maybe I went there with, not with Hawkins. I feel like I was there by myself. Maybe when I went to see Hawkins. I don't remember. Oh yeah, look. Weed stores coming back. I've noticed more licensed weed stores, but I think also unlicensed weed stores. Maybe they figure now that Eric Adams got jammed up in his own criminal deal, he doesn't have as much time to be shaking down weed stores. That was the sheriff. Oh yeah, I noticed that Sal Greco has filed an IAB complaint, I guess, against John Schell, who's the chief of department of the NYPD. He's a lunatic. That guy shot somebody and killed him many years ago, and I don't know, this city was found liable or whatever. Nothing really happened to him as far as I know, but they had to pay out some huge sum, and now he's part of Eric Adams' criminal crew of NYPD, giving Sal and, you know, John McCarry and Eric Dim, giving all those guys guff online. So Sal filed some kind of complaint with the Internal Affairs Bureau. I don't know. I don't personally think they're going to do anything. In my experience, the Internal Affairs Bureau, it's just the cops investigating the cops. They never do anything. I don't think. Cute dogs. So this was a successful test, I would say. Still a bit more walking to do, so if people have any questions, let me check if people have any questions in the chat on X. Let's walk down this street. We have some nice townhouses here on 19th Street. Toronto? Yeah, it must have been in Toronto. So let's check on X if people are chatting. I noticed X has recently said there's some kind of beta chat function. I don't know what that's about, but I had a chat there from Christine Bish. If people were watching that episode, she's the woman who first discovered that Adam Schiff is a scumbag. Welcome to the 180 people watching on X. Thanks for watching. It says chat messages will appear here, but so far there are none.
They're not AI, but
You know, think about it, the amount of crushing that's been done to crowdsource the truth. It really seems like not that long ago, although I guess it was 5 years, when there was 120,000 viewers on YouTube and shows would get like 2,000 live viewers. They really made quite an investment in shutting that down. $2 million, and I'm not making that up. You can see that in the 990s for the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Why would they do that? You know, and remember, that's an issue where I told them, I'll delete this image that you claim to dislike. This looks like the future of garbage. Lock it in a safe. Keep your garbage safe. $2 million. It's, what is it, Finnegan? What the hell is the name of that law firm? I forget, Haribo and all these idiots who they hired to sue me. They paid like 2 years in a row over 1.2 million to those guys. So that's what I mean. Somebody sends money, that's a 501c6. So again, you donate money to that, I don't think you're getting a tax deduction, but they also have a foundation that's a 501c3. I haven't looked into it, but if they work it like Norm Eisen does, people donate money to the 501c3, and then the 501c3 cohabitates, you know, they have an office with the C4, so the C4 doesn't need to spend anything on offices, and they're using this written off tax-exempt money to pay for office expenses and stuff like that, and even making donations right into the C4. So, I mean, it completely eliminates the measures that the IRS has there to differentiate a 501c3 from a 501c4. It just can't possibly be legal. I really wish Trump would get somebody involved in trying to close up these loopholes. I think that's where Elon Musk wasn't really talking about that. I mean, he was saying, yeah, NGOs are stealing loads of money, but again, it's like, oh, you're sick. Tell me exactly what's wrong and how we fix it. Here's handmade Italian pasta. This looks new. Pasta sol. That looks AI to me. The people. That does too. Boy, but the pasta looks nice. And that round wheel of cheese looks nice. Pasta sol. Where are we here? 8th Avenue? 9th Avenue? 8th. Sometimes it's nice to just walk around and see, the city is almost like a living organism. I know there's some people who like to just see how the different streets and avenues are progressing over time, or regressing, as the case may be. Right? A lot of construction going on for sure. That guy right there reminded me a little bit of Ivan Raikland. He's another guy who came up in the battle with Nina. She was using his stupid comments against me, saying that I should be punished for stuff that Ivan Raikland said. That was one of the things that they said. And as a matter of fact, the judge basically picked that up. What did she think about the assassination attempt? The judge picked that up. That was, they want me to remove the undrainable John Durham and the undrainable Washington, D.C. swamp. Basically, that's when I was talking to Ivan Raikland. I think this is an electric Humvee.
Yeah, that shit was intense. That shit would have died.
Flintstone cannabis. I walked by this from across the street. I don't know, is that a licensed store? But remember, Raikland was, busily trying to blurt out her name, and then she waited 2 years to say anything to the court about it. So she's so threatened by that, she has to wait 2 years. So I was arguing, and not that I just made this up out of my head. I found some case, I don't remember it now, but it's in there, which said that if the order is so broad that it can be interpreted that speech by a third party could be used to enforce it against me, then that means that it's unconstitutionally overbroad. And they're saying, no, res judicata, you can't argue about that anymore. But they're bringing up new arguments. So I'm not allowed to rebut. I really think Nina's lawyer is stupid. And the other problem with this is, I'm sure I've mentioned this, but the whole process is so opaque. Even as a participant, as a litigant in the case, I'm just not allowed to have any kind of access to the docket. There's no online docket that I can go on there and check every day. Like all my other cases, I'm running up a huge bill, literally thousands of dollars a year, just to look at the cases. Court is such a damn ripoff. They charge you like 10 cents a view at Pacer. And then you get this bill like quarterly. It's like $500-600. It's ridiculous. I mean, that's like calling Congress and you have to call them on like a 900 number. Is this a 350Z? 370? Yeah, 370. I used to have a Nissan 350Z. I really liked that car. Underpowered, but good. I don't know, anybody? Whoa. That's a hell of a vehicle right there. So there was somebody who they claim they caught who was like planting IEDs around the city, planning some kind of, I guess terrorism or something. I don't know what happened with that. You never know with the FBI. They have all kinds of claims. Ken Silva had a very interesting story today. Ryan Ruth's son got a pretty lengthy conviction for having, I guess you're not allowed to say CP. You're not even allowed to say it, I guess, but he was convicted for maybe 5 or 6 years, stuck in jail. Ryan Routh, weird guy. Anyway, that was basically the test, everybody. It seems that the problem has been resolved, so that's good. I wanted to make sure that everything was working there because remember Brandon Straka, or Strock, I don't know how you get Strock from the way he spells his name there, but he's got some kind of protest happening, I think in Union Square this weekend. That thing is sure to be descended upon by crackhead Barney and the like. I think he's a target of that kind of thing. I think he got inappropriately nailed on January 6th. I was talking to him about that. Well, maybe not specifically about that, but about his involvement with Tracy Beans Diaz and the fact that I didn't trust her. I think she had something to do with jamming him up on January 6th. I don't know if he's still friends with her or not, but she's a very untrustworthy person who came around right around the same time as George Webb doing kind of the same kind of things. But definitely want to thank everybody who's sponsoring the show and helping me in the counter lawfare efforts. So Nina and her attorneys are going to get more documents from me. I'm going to, so I enter a thing, they enter a response in opposition. Now I'm going to reply because they're saying all kinds of stupid stuff. I'm not paying her legal bill. If she's worried about legal bills, yeah, I guess she does that just to increase the amount of work that I have to do because now, arguably, I have to reply. Whatever. We'll reply. But yeah, thanks for everybody who's helping with the counter lawfare on crowdsourcethetruth.substack.com or paypal.me/crowdsourcethetruth. And of course, everybody who's sponsoring the show on subscribestar.com and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. There's some sort of city bike emergency going on with this thing powered by Lyft. Don't like city bike. And don't forget, if you aren't already following on X, go over there at JG_CSG.